FBH Internacional y Fish Studios presentan Clasificación A.
Hello from Mexico City to all our FBH friends. It's already been a year since I was with you in person for the 2022 conference. Every year, we experience God's faithfulness in advancing His kingdom through the church and in giving us the privilege to be a part of what He's doing. This year, I was supposed to go on a trip to Israel with my wife, Kristen. The day before our flights, the war broke out, and God is faithful in the most difficult times, and He knows what He's doing. Now I'm here, and as I think about God's faithfulness, I look back 16 years when we partnered with FBH to reach and impact the Hispanic community around the world. It's been a challenge to do this with a wide range of issues the church has faced in the last 2 decades. And part of our strategy has been developing relationships with a wide range of ministries, organizations, and churches in different countries in Latin America. These relationships have opened up many opportunities not only to visit these countries, but also to have people participate on our program from all over the world. We rejoice because these partnerships reflect God's faithfulness, not only in building His church in Mexico, but throughout the Spanish-speaking communities in many different regions and countries. Keep praying for wisdom as we keep planning topics and guests for our program. The content of each program is at the heart of our ministry as we seek to bless and encourage our listeners with the gospel and how to live it in our everyday life. I recently did a series on the topic When Prayer is a Struggle with a good friend in Chicago who wrote a book with that title, originally in English, now available also in Spanish. That series was great. We had many people respond thanking us for addressing our prayer lives in such a practical way. I also had an interview with Fermin Cuarto, a very famous secular rapper in the 90s that came to Christ 20 years ago and now serves God in pastoring and reaching people with the gospel through his music. His biography just came out this year. A ministry friend and partner, Living Waters, participated on a recent program discussing ways to share your faith with others and especially sharing your faith and the gospel in a biblical way. By the way, let me tell you a little about the name of the program, Clasificacion A. When we began the program 16 years ago, we wanted to produce content that would be edifying and useful to the whole family. Clasificacion A is a common rating system that means for the whole family. Although much of what we do is for adults and young people, we also want to produce content that parents can use in teaching and discipling their kids. This year, 2 excellent adaptations of Pilgrim's Progress for kids were published. We did 2 programs to talk about these books and the way parents can be more involved in teaching their children to walk with the Lord. On our most recent program, we did something we had never done before in our over 640 programs. We invited kids from a small Christian school to do a program with common questions kids have about God and the Bible. Wow, it was fun. We discussed questions like, who made God? Do animals go to heaven? And how will the world end? Every time someone listens to a program on a traditional radio station, through our podcast, or watching the video version on our social media, we want them to feel challenged, encouraged, and nourished in their walk with God. We want to be evidence of God's faithfulness in our own lives through every program we produce. We aren't His, and we don't serve Him because we're worthy, but because He is faithful. It's a privilege to experience God's faithfulness along with FBH in letting us impact people's lives with the message of the gospel and the Word of God. Thank you for your support, and thank you for constantly praying for us and for our radio ministry. God bless.
Esta fue una presentación de FBH Internacional y Fish Studios. Para más información, visita nuestra página www.clasificaciona.com.